The Hauntings of Thwaite Watermill, a true Leeds mystery. Tucked away on the banks of the River Aire, Thwaite Watermill is an unlikely place for tales of the supernatural. This beautifully preserved 19th century watermill, once used to power an industrial complex, is now a museum dedicated to Leeds' rich industrial history. Though today it serves as a site of learning, Thwaite Watermill has a darker side, a reputation for ghostly encounters, chilling apparitions and inexplicable sounds echoing through its machinery-laden halls. Over the years, staff, visitors and even paranormal investigators have reported eerie incidents within its stone walls, all suggesting that some spirits of Thwaite Watermill's past might never have left. One of the most well-known apparitions at Thwaite Watermill is said to be that of a former worker, often spotted late in the evening or in the early morning hours, described as a stooped, middle-aged man in worn, soiled clothing typical of the mill's heyday. He's often seen moving through the mill's main floor, lingering near the old grinding stones as though he's still at work. Some who have encountered him claim he has a look of exhaustion and sadness, as if burdened by a lifetime of back-breaking labour. A night watchman who worked at the mills in the 1990s reported seeing this figure near one of the large rusting machines. Thinking it was an intruder, he approached, only for the figure to disappear before his eyes. Shaken, the guards searched every corner of the room but found no one there. Since then, many night staff and security guards have recounted similar sightings, often accompanied by the sound of quiet footsteps on the mill floor when no one else is around. Some believe this spirit could be the ghost of a mill worker who met an unfortunate end in the building. Accidents were tragically common in industrial mills, and it's said that in the early 1900s a worker became trapped in one of the grinding machines, meeting a sudden, violent death. Many think he still roams the mill, bound to his worksite for eternity. Visitors to Thwaite Watermill often report hearing the unmistakable sounds of machinery clanking, grinding and whirring, even on days when the mill's engines are completely silent. These sounds are said to echo through the rooms and hallways, creating an eerie atmosphere as if the mill itself is reliving its bustling past. Guides and staff members have reported hearing these mechanical sounds after hours, almost like faint echoes of a past life. One former curator described an experience that left him questioning the mill's haunted reputation. While closing up alone, he heard the sound of grinding gears coming from one of the old turbines, but when he entered the room, he found the machinery completely still. Strangely, he said the air in the room felt colder, and a faint, almost metallic smell filled the space. As he turned to leave, he felt a distinct sensation of being watched, as if an unseen presence was overseeing the machinery one last time. In one of the more unsettling stories, several visitors have reported hearing the sound of a child's laughter within the mill. The laughter is said to echo down the corridors and through the display rooms, always seeming to come from somewhere nearby but just out of sight. This is especially disturbing because there are no records of children ever working or living at Thwaite Watermill. One visitor, exploring the mill with her young son, heard what she thought was another child laughing and playing in the room ahead. As she entered, the sound abruptly stopped, and she found the room empty. Her son later told her that he'd seen a little girl in an old-fashioned dress standing by one of the display cases. When they returned to the room, there was no sign of the girl he described. Staff speculate that the child's spirit could belong to a former worker's daughter who visited the mill frequently, or even a child who drowned in the river nearby. Her spirit somehow drawn to the mill where her family once worked. One of the mill's most mysterious and unsettling spectres is the figure of a woman often seen by the riverbank at dusk. She's usually described as wearing a flowing dress, standing near the water with her head bowed. Witnesses report feeling an overwhelming sadness when they see her, as if they're witnessing a tragic moment from long ago. Though no one knows who she is, local legend suggests she might be the spirit of a mill worker's wife who drowned in the river, either by accident or by her own hand. One evening, a volunteer leaving the mill saw the woman by the water. Concerned that someone might be in distress, he called out to her, but she didn't respond. As he walked closer, he felt an icy chill in the air, and the figure simply faded, dissolving into the mist. Terrified, he backed away and hurried home, later learning from colleagues that this apparition had been seen before. The lady by the river remains one of the mill's most enduring ghostly figures, her spirit apparently tied to the waters of the River Aire. The tool room at Thwaite Watermill is another hotspot for strange occurrences. Several employees have reported finding tools moved or misplaced, even though they'd been securely stored. One maintenance worker recalled locking up the tools at the end of his shift, only to return the next day and find them scattered across the floor as if someone, or something, had been rifling through them. Some staff members say they hear clinking and tapping sounds coming from the tool room when it's empty, as though invisible hands are working on long forgotten tasks. In one of the most chilling incidents, a maintenance worker who was fixing a broken cabinet in the room suddenly felt a heavy hand on his shoulder. Startled, he turned to find no one there. He quickly finished his work and refused to return to the tool room alone. Though Thwaite Watermill is a peaceful sight by day, these tales of restless spirits make it a different place altogether after dark. Many believe the hauntings are connected to the mill's intense industrial past, where long hours and dangerous working conditions defined the lives of those who toiled there. From the shadowy figure of the mill worker to the spectral sounds of machinery, Thwaite Watermill is filled with the echoes of a time that seemed reluctant to fade away. Despite, or perhaps because of, its paranormal reputation, the mill continues to attract visitors fascinated by its history and mystery. Ghost hunters, history enthusiasts, and curious tourists all come to Thwaite Watermill, hoping to capture a glimpse of one of its resident spirits or to experience its eerie atmosphere firsthand. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's hard to deny the feeling that at Thwaite Watermill the past still lingers, both in the silent machinery and in the shadows of those who worked there, who may have never truly left.